Hey Facebook, hey Facebook, hey Facebook. This is your girl, Angela Thomas Smith, on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. I am up close and personal tonight with Triveda Harris, amazing woman of God. Gonna give her an opportunity to come on and share a little bit about herself, what she's doing, and how you can connect and follow her. But before we do that, y'all, I need you guys to share this broadcast in your circle of influence. For those that do not know who I am, again, Angela Thomas Smith, the founder of AALAC, the African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign. I am also the CEO of Aspiring Authors Magazine, where my desire is to bridge the gap between brown authors all over this world and to touch on topics that's affecting our brown community that people do not want to talk about. So I'm going to move out the way and allow my very special guest to come up and share just a little bit about herself. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
How are
How are
you?
you? I am good. How about you?
I am great. I am great. I am great. Excited to have you here tonight.
Well,
Want you
thank you for the
to
opportunity.
introduce yourself, share with those that are tuned in, those that will hear the replay, just a little bit about who Triveda Harris is.
All right. Well, I am a mother of three, ages 25, 21, and 19. I am a stroke survivor. I am a Chiari malformation warrior. Most people don't know what Chiari malformation is. It's basically a brain disorder. It's basically where the base of the brain presses down on the spinal cord and causes a lot of issues. So I am a Mary Kay beauty consultant, and I am an author. I have written 3 books. They're self-published, of course. Other than that, I'm pretty much a very shy and person who keeps to myself. Um, I'm a hard worker, very determined, very stubborn as well. I get fussed at by my kids a lot. I have a very small group of friends, so coming outside of my comfort zone has really been a major challenge for me, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to come out of my comfort zone. So my writing basically has helped me to do that. Um, Other than that, that's just me.
I'll be trying to cut down on the noise. I don't be wanting a lot of noise because I be wanting people to hear what you guys be saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I be wanting people to, get it. Because I'm about to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Because I want to hear more about your
My
disability
condition.
or your
Yeah.
ability, your condition, not really a disability, but your illness, if
Okay.
you would say.
Well, I was diagnosed in 2009 after having a stroke, and it was an incidental finding. And I've had headaches and nosebleeds and all these different types of things my entire life, but I was always diagnosed as having migraines. However, I ended up having a stroke, and once I had the stroke, they were able to find that this was actually Chiari malformation and not it was well I had the stroke, but also having Chiari malformation was the incidental finding of having that stroke. And so it caused a lot of issues with the stroke that I had. I lost the ability to use my left side. And then in 2013, I had a major flare up with the condition to where I lost my ability to speak. And so it was complicated. I was frustrated. I was irritated. And then not only did I lose my speech, I lost my ability to use my left side. And then I had another condition on top of that that was called epilepsia partialis continuum, where I have localized seizures to just the left side of my body. So at that time, it was like, okay, I'm really embarrassed because the left side of my face would twitch, my arm would twitch, and I didn't want people asking me questions. And then I couldn't speak as well. So all I had was pen and paper. So I turned to my poetry to get me through that time. And It was hard. It was difficult. However, me being stubborn, as I said, I refused to deal with anything that the first neurologist, after having my stroke in 2009, told me to just simply get used to not being able to use the left side of my body, because that's what stroke patients have to do. And I refused to take that advice. And I said, I don't have to take that from you. I'm going to find me a new neurologist, give me all of my information, and I will no longer be your patient. So I left him, went to physical therapy, got my ability to use my legs and my arm back. So if you saw me walk, you would never know that I had an issue with a stroke or anything. And with me talking to you today, you would never know that I lost my ability to speak. So in 2013, what helped me to get my speech back, because they didn't know what was going on, they just said that it was complicated migraines. However, that was not the case. So how I used my voice to get my speech back was I sung. I would sing in my spare time, or when I was home alone, or in between doctor's appointments from here in South Carolina to North Carolina, because nobody knew what was going on and they couldn't tell me how to regain my strength. But I knew using your vocal cords in a singing manner would help me to strengthen my vocal cords and get my speech back. And that's what I did. And so after that, I went to college at the age of 35. And I had some reservations about that because of my condition. And I didn't think that going to school on campus was going to be something that was beneficial to me. However, my daughter went with me and gave me the advice that I had given to her. And that was, you've never quit anything in your life. I've seen you overcome the hardest things that anybody could ever overcome. So you're giving yourself an excuse to not go through with this. So I don't want to hear it. You're going to go in there and take that assessment test, and then we're going to go and talk to the financial aid department because you're enrolling in school. And I did. I actually did that in 2015. It was supposed to take me 2 years to graduate and get my degree. I finished in a year and 9 months because I was determined to finish by the spring term. And I actually did that. And I surprised myself because I wrote a goal down that I actually wanted to finish early. And I didn't look at the paper again. I just did it. And once I realized I had completed the goal, I was, surprised and shocked at myself. But Chiari malformation has changed my life in a lot of different ways. However, I haven't let it stop me from being who I have been determined to be. But there are good days and there are bad days, but I take my bad days and I'm grateful for those bad days because they make me appreciate the good days. Saturday was a very bad, very bad day, but I'm better. The pain was hard because I deal with these headaches and the pain and all of that, but I'm stubborn and I'm grateful for this stubbornness because it keeps me moving. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me being able to talk to other people about what God has done for me. And so I always use the scripture from Corinthians, walk by faith and not by sight, because that has gotten me through everything, because I did not know if I would get through, because there were so many dark moments and so many dark times that I did not know if I was going to make it through. And I used to always ask the question, God, why did you give me this life? Why did you put me in this situation? And I had to stop asking that question and start to ask him, what do you want me to do in this situation, and how do you want me to maneuver through it? Because I need to go through it in order to get to where you're going to take me. And so once I started asking that question, God, how do you want me to maneuver through? I've been able to get through everything that has come my way. I don't stress about it. I don't get upset about it. And if I do get upset about it, I have to take a moment. God, listen, I understand what's going on here. And there's something that you need to tell me, and I need to sit and be silent and listen to what you're trying to tell me so that I can get to where I need to go. And I've been grateful and been able to listen and hear when he talks to me about what it is I need to learn in that moment. And so I share that with anybody. You know, you can't always ask, God, why did you put me in this situation? You got to weather those storms, because those storms are necessary in order to get you to where you need to go. You can't just pray, God, get me out of this storm. Why did he put you in that storm in the first place? He put you there for a reason. And are you willing to go through it to get your lesson for that next opportunity? So I'm just his vessel.
Wow. 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 Look, I wanted to stop you a while back because you said South Carolina.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Spartanburg.
Oh, okay. Well, I am from Anderson.
Okay.
I was born in Anderson,
Okay.
but I live in a small place called Abbeville,
Mm-hmm.
Entryville, Levelland. That's the
Yeah.
area that I'm from.
Okay.
So yeah, I actually went to North Greenville. It was a junior college then. I went there for one
Okay.
year. I actually played basketball there before I transferred to Morris Brown in Atlanta. Um,
Okay.
I lived in Atlanta for about 18 years. I'm actually here in Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
That's where I
I
live at
gotta
now.
come visit then.
Yeah, I've been here. It'll be 2 years in February.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, see how God always connected. For
Yeah.
real, for real.
He's
But
always with us.
I can definitely relate to what you're saying, especially even with your illness,
Mm-hmm.
because I have an associate. Her name is she lives in your area.
Okay.
Um, she actually deals with the migraines, and she actually had spots on her brain.
Yeah.
I definitely can relate because she shared several times how she's felt, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I thank you for your transparency. I thank you for your strength.
Thank
Um,
you.
I thank you so much because to look at you, you would never think that you've been through any of this. And this is what I tell people all the time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
over here in tears because I can relate to a lot of the things that you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people going to hear this. They're going to get bits and pieces of it that's going to hit them. And
Mm-hmm.
they're going to tear up. They're going to tear up. But I just want you to know that you are amazing for
Thank
your
you.
transparency and your willingness to be a vessel.
Yeah.
You hit it. You hit it. I tell people all the time they don't realize the power that they possess.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize what's on the inside of them. Until you discover. I was upset for a long time because I lost my mom 12 days after my 16th birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and just so much had happened in my life. My life has just been it's been a journey of
Yeah.
just experiences. But I
Mm-hmm.
thank him for those experiences because these experiences was not have us where we are right now.
Right.
Because we didn't just get here.
Right.
We had to get
We,
here.
we had to go through it to get here.
But he already had a way out. He already
Mm-hmm.
knew that this day was going to be this day, and he already knew that we was going to look back on everything that we've been through,
Yep.
and we were going to be able to share it. And he knew what place we were going to be at in our life. He already knew,
Yep.
and that's what
He'll
I'm
never
trying to get
put
people to
you.
understand. Exactly.
Yeah. He'll never put you in a situation without giving you a solution. He
Yeah.
never does that. And that's one of the things that we always have to be mindful of. God will never put you in a situation that He does not provide a solution for. We have to be silent and be understanding and willing to understand that He's provided the way out. But are we willing to go the way that He's guiding us to go? That's the hardest thing.
It's hard, but right. And then if you want, I'm telling you, if you want that peace, you want that joy. So a lot
Yeah.
of people looking for happiness. Happiness is momentary.
Mm-hmm.
It only lasts for a minute. But joy, you have joy when you're sad. You have joy when you have that peace
Mm-hmm.
because you know. But see,
Yeah.
a lot of us we can't even relate to the word because we can't put ourselves in the word.
Mm-hmm.
We look at the word for exactly what the word say. If he say, look to the hills from which your help cometh, we looking to the hills thinking something finna come out the hills, and you already you your help. And we don't
Exactly.
understand that. That's why I keep telling people, and they probably think I be crazy when I be saying the stuff that I be saying. I told somebody the other day, pick up your stick, pick it up,
Yep.
pick your stick up.
Yep.
You know where you are in your life. Everybody out here is on the outside looking in.
Yep.
Nobody knows. Can nobody see through your lens but
But
you?
you. Exactly. Exactly.
Genesis 2:7 said he breathed the breath of life into us.
Yes.
So if he breathed the breath of life into us, what does that mean? That means he's in us.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we need, everything we desire, everything we want, it does
It's
not
all there.
matter. It's in us. So
Yes.
now it's all about you tapping into him that is in
Exactly.
you. But we don't want to do that.
Exactly.
We looking for everybody else to hand us something. We're looking for
Exactly.
somebody to save us. We're looking for somebody to do something, and it's not gonna happen.
Nope. Not
It's
at
not
all.
gonna happen. I want you to share your books. Do you have your books with you?
I have two of my books with me.
I would
The
love for you to share them so people can see them. And then if you want to share a piece, you can definitely share a piece.
Okay. This one, like I said, these are self-published books. I've taught myself, the self-publishing part. And having Chiari malformation, I really wanted it to be a learning opportunity for myself. So I didn't want to send it to any editors or anything like that because I didn't want anybody to take that opportunity away from me, because having Chiari malformation, it affects my memory, it affects
Right.
just so much of my brain activity because it's a brain disorder. And so I didn't want to be idle with my mind. And
Right.
so it's like, okay, well, I can easily write this stuff down and pass it off to somebody else and let them go in and change this and highlight this and make it sound spectacular. I don't care about none of that. I don't want that because that's not who I am. I don't care about selling something that's spectacular. I care about the truth and the genuineness of myself. And so I did it myself. And I had a lot of people criticize because it doesn't look professional. It doesn't look great, but this is my very first one. And it's my poetry, my piece, my soul release. This is the first one that I did. And it just has 26 of my poems in there because I've been writing for a long time. The very first one is called Black Woman. And this one, that Black woman gave me my opportunity to speak at a friend of mine's event last October. The very first time I ever had to do a virtual thing. And it came literally from a prayer that I prayed in 2019. God, help me step outside of my comfort zone, because I need to step into this vision he had showed me. But the first poem was a poem that I wrote during my time that all I had was pen and paper. And I wrote that poem, and it was 6 years prior to this event that she asked me to do this. And so that's why I didn't realize the placement of that poem would mean so much more to me now than it did then. And I had a lot of people say, I wouldn't attach my name to something that's not perfect. And my response to that was, it's not your assignment. So, of course, you're not going to attach your name to it because it's not yours. So,
Right.
I didn't worry about that. I just laughed at it because that's your opinion. Your opinion doesn't change the fact that I'm still going to do it my way because God instructed me to do it that way. So, the second book I wrote was Struggle, Strength, and Success, Kiari Malformation Won't Win. And what that one basically is about is the fact of what Kiari has done in my life and how it affected me with raising my children and all of that. And I will not give it the power to control everything that I do in my life. And the last one that I've written is Overcoming Childhood Trauma, My Journey to Healing. This book, I will say, was a self-reflection of myself, my relationship with my parents, and how it affected my relationship with my children. After writing this book, I was able to apologize to my children for not being vulnerable when they needed to see that side of me, because all they've ever seen, regardless of what we've gone through as a family as a whole, they've always seen strength. They've never seen me cry unless I was in pain. And they needed to see me as being vulnerable, showing other emotions besides, always being strong, because I'm not as strong as they thought that I was. And so I had to apologize to my children for that because they needed that. But I also explained to them why I was always showing that side of strength to them, because they needed to focus on the goals that they had for themselves. And even though I was sick and we were going through everything that we were going through as a whole and as a family, they didn't need to focus on my issues and they didn't need to focus on my problems. They needed to be children. And they needed, because they were already taking on a lot of responsibility of helping me, get around, get up, get down, cook dinner, and all of those things. So they still needed to be children. And throughout everything that we've gone through as a family, they still were able to be children. And it was hard. And so the relationship that I had with my mom was a hard relationship. My children, I've never kept a secret from them about my relationship with my mom. I never kept a secret about my relationship with my dad or anything like that. But that book was one of the books that has changed me in a way that was necessary. I had my uncle not too long ago call me and apologize because he didn't know the weight of what I was carrying until he read this book. And his behavior, he was like, I did not know what I was doing in that time. But however, you still opened your home to me. You still allowed me to be in your presence, but you never once let on that you were carrying all of this. It never showed. I never knew that. And I just simply have to apologize because that's a lot of weight for someone to carry. And the reflection in this book, basically, I compared what my mother had gone through as a kid and how her relationship with me related into what she had gone through as a child. And what she went through as a child, it was basically, she was always told her mother didn't want her and that her mother tried to kill her when she was a baby. So as she got older, she ran to people who showed her love in a dysfunctional way. So as I got older, the same thing. She would tell me, I wish you were dead. I wish I never had you. I wish I'd had an abortion. And for a while, I would, be stuck on the fact of what did I do for you to hate me so much? But as I got older, I realized it wasn't that she hated me. That's what she knew. That's what she grew up knowing. That's what she grew up hearing. So she only did what she knew to do. And so I couldn't fault her for that. And I had to forgive her for that. With my dad, he didn't have a father growing up. So he in turn didn't know how to be a father. And so, as I told my father, I'm the sum of the two of you. I have the best qualities and I have the worst qualities of you both. However, I forgive you both because I have no other choice, honestly, because you're not going to disturb my peace. You're not going to block my blessings. However, what I've learned in your absence is that I'm still going to be okay, regardless. And I love me enough to understand that you're not going to disturb my peace. You're not going to come in making demands on this is how you want me to love you. This is how you want me to deal with you. This is how I'm not going to do that. And my dad actually asked me to write a retraction for one of my books. And I told him no. And the reason I said no was because this is your behavior. This is what you did. And these are the things that you said. And it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you. And you have to accept accountability for the things that you said. And so until you do that, I don't know what to tell you. But I love you. But I'm not taking it back. Because it is what it is. You said it, you did it. And it happened to be my college graduation. And we were taking pictures, and my dad was standing beside me, and he was saying, I know I don't deserve to be here. And I looked at him and I said, this isn't the moment, and this isn't the time for that. And he continued to say that, whisper that as we were taking the pictures. And so after that, we had a conversation. And I told him, I said that in that moment, that was not about you, but you were trying to make it about you. And I refused to let you have that moment. Just like I'm still refusing to let you have this moment. You asked, why won't I write a retraction? It's because it's your behavior. You did it. It's not going to change the fact. Well, why would you invite me to your graduation? I said, because I wasn't going to take the opportunity away from you to show up. You had an option to not come if you didn't want to. I said, so I gave you an option, which was a choice to be there or not. Now you're standing here at my college graduation saying that you know you don't deserve to be here. That has nothing to do with me. That's a personal thing. So you would have to deal with that yourself. Not so it's like, okay. So those are the things that, I've gone through, and writing these books have let me get all of that out. And everybody can relate to these things and these stories, and it's not for me to bash anybody or hurt anybody or anything like that, because as I tell my kids all the time, we're always going to be the villain in somebody's story. I know that I am a villain in somebody's story, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm going to tell my side. I'm going to tell what I did. Even if it wasn't the right thing in that moment, it felt like it was the right thing for me to say or do because of how I was feeling. Now, was it right? No. But I have to accept the accountability for my actions, whether it was good or bad. And I have. So I can't be embarrassed and I can't be ashamed of the things that I've done. Have I learned from those things? Yes. Have I grown from those things? Yes. Will I make a mistake again? Yes, because I'm human. That's what happens. But am I going to get better? Yes. Do I look at things in a different perspective? Yes, because I learn.
Wow. You do not sound like you're shy. You do not sound like that. I truly have enjoyed this conversation tonight, because I tell you, a lot of people needed to hear this, because we get so caught up and allowing people to put us in a place
Mhm.
when it's all about your peace.
Mhm.
You know, I keep telling people I really had never shared my domestic violence story, but I had to begin to share for my own peace so that
Yes.
I can be at peace because I accepted some things and I shouldn't have accepted them,
Mhm.
you know, but I accepted them because I thought I could change somebody. You know
You're
what I'm saying?
right.
You know,
Mhm.
and then you have to realize that you have value. You
Yes.
have to realize that you have worth. And you have to
Yes.
realize what his plan is for your life.
Mhm.
And when you realize these things, then you can begin to heal and then you can begin to walk in your purpose.
Yes.
Because whether we realize it or not, we think we walking in purpose, but we still be holding on to stuff. Because here I was, I started ALAC in 2016.
Mhm.
I became an author for the first time, and I started doing events. We was going from city to city, doing city to city. We was doing events in Anderson,
Okay.
Greenville. We was in Atlanta, Tallahassee. We was just all over the place.
Mhm.
Me and my best friend at the time, we used to do a summer program
Okay.
um, in Anderson. I ran a food service program out of Greenville, organization called Freedom Within Walls. We used to give food to low income areas to make sure that kids that got free and reduced lunch during the school year
Right.
were able to get those same meals
Things
during
in the
the
summer.
summertime.
Yeah.
And then also, if they had like churches that had vacation Bible school and things like that, just trying to make sure that kids got fed and that they
Right.
weren't hungry. So, man, we was just out doing stuff and being positive and trying to impact lives.
Mhm.
That's just what I do. I just want to be positive and let people know that they got purpose.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for coming on here tonight and
Well,
sharing.
thank you.
Um, would you like to share a piece?
I will share a piece, and I'll share the poem that I wrote for overcoming childhood trauma. I'm gonna share one from um, well, yeah, I'll share this one from my poetry book. I was trying to decide which one I wanted to do from this one, because I know a lot of people can relate to either one of these, honestly. But this one is called Broken. And it's basically the trials and tribulations of life have beaten her down, yet she still manages to smile. Broken inside from all the pain she hides just to ensure the ones around her are happy and not sad. Have you ever stopped to really listen between the words and her tears? Do you simply say she's strong, she'll get through it? Broken, battered, and bruised, yet she still tries to push through. She speaks to inspire and to tell others not to give up on their dreams while she's slowly giving up on hers. It's not for the reasons because it's too hard or it's the easy choice. It's because she doesn't want to take the easy way out. All she's ever wanted was for someone to truly listen without judging or interrupting. The weight that she carries is heavy, is a heavy load. She knows that others carry even heavier load. All she asks is for a break to rest and regain her strength, and all she's ever told is to keep going. People need you. They are dependent on you. The strongest people need a break sometimes too. No one ever stops for a second to see that because they only focus on the strength. She's battered, she's broken, and she's bruised. Yet she will continue to fight through it all because she knows that there are so many other people dependent upon her. The question still remains, when can she depend on you?
Wow.
So
Wow.
that was broken. And
Wow.
this one in overcoming childhood trauma, as I was writing, the poem came to me, and I had to stop writing the book itself to write this poem called I Forgive. And it goes like this: I forgive myself for not going after my goals sooner. I forgive myself for not knowing the things that I know now. I forgive myself for not knowing self love and appreciation. I forgive myself for doing the best that I knew how to simply survive until tomorrow. I forgive myself for the abandonment I felt as a child. I forgive myself for feeling lost in a world of hopes and dreams when all I had to do was open my eyes and see the world was mine if I only believed in me. I forgive myself for waiting so long to see the beauty inside me, not just the outside. I forgive myself for believing the lies that I was told I wasn't good enough to be heard or to be seen. I am worthy of everything and more because God said so. I
Wow.
forgive me.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
So those
Wow.
are just some of my poetry. So I'm
You
working
are amazing. And I'm just sitting here like there's no way you could be shy.
on. I am.
All that's on the inside of you, your words and you can't. People need to hear you.
I
I'm
am
so
very
glad that you are stepping outside of your comfort zone. I'm super glad. You have to share about being a part of this monologue.
Oh
Um,
yes.
you definitely have to share because that's our one connection. I'm so glad that um I I'm glad I took this opportunity. You took this opportunity to be a part of this podcast so that we can share you with the world because you definitely have a testimony that need to be heard. People need to know because there's somebody out there that's going through something
Mhm.
and their wits end. They cannot see. It's like they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel,
Mhm.
but they know that there's a light, but they can't see it.
Yeah. And ironically, I have a poem. It's called Darkness, and I wrote that one in the middle of a hallway at the hospital while I was waiting to get an MRI done. I had nothing but my phone, and I jotted that one down, and it's in the poetry book. But it talks about that not being able to see the end of the tunnel, not being able to see the light, but ultimately you are your own light. So you have to
Wow.
be able to understand that just because you're in the middle of that darkness, in order to light up that tunnel, you got to light up yourself.
But can I
And,
share something really quick?
mhm,
I want people to get this, and I want people to understand this because you know what? Really, I ain't never had a conversation with her. I never had a conversation with you, and we, even when we practice, we
mhm.
really don't get an opportunity to share. But listen to, yeah, if y'all heard what she just said, she talking about this poem. Now, I didn't know her when she wrote this poem. When did you write this poem, baby?
And Darkness was written, I want to say 3 years ago.
3 years ago, we was nowhere thinking about doing no. We didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't know nothing about Sheena. Me and Sheena been knowing each other probably 2 years now,
Hmm.
and I didn't know nothing about this monologue. None of this when you wrote this. And just listen now. My skit, my part
Hmm.
is stepping when the darkness into the light.
Yes.
And I just me and Tammy both when
Hmm.
we be practicing and we be talking and having conversation, that's both of us. And then
Exactly.
even the other part that she played, that's her when she shared. I interviewed her today. And
Okay.
let me tell you how intentional God is for his people, and he want his people to understand and know that he is who he say he is. Jeremiah 29:11 is real. He said he got a plan for you.
Always.
The prosper you for you being good health, for you to have hope and a future. So let me
Hmm.
tell you something. We talked about this morning, and you probably ain't heard our interview. You
Not
probably ain't heard.
yet.
She man, we was talking about some of the same similar stuff about the darkness, and she shared her journey and just different stuff. Her parts are her
Hmm.
because how she is a overcomer. Oh my
Hmm.
God. Like it's like he just man, people don't understand that everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
Everything happens for a reason. He knew what we was gonna be going through, when we was gonna be going through it, how we was gonna go through it.
Exactly.
That ain't. I can't. This is a whole nother show.
It definitely is.
But that monologue,
Listen.
I'm coming out of the dark into the light. And
Hmm.
what you just said, I tell people that all the time. Ain't
Hmm.
nothing finna drop out the sky.
Nope.
He can that scripture. Look to the hills. Psalms one. I just released this prayer book.
Hmm.
402 pages.
Hmm.
Psalms 121. Look to the hills from which my help coming. People looking to
Uh-huh.
the hills thinking something finna come out the hills. Ain't nothing finna come out the hills. You want to know where your hills at? Your hills, those people you need to be reaching out to.
Hmm.
That's what's gonna help you get to the next level.
Hmm.
Everything that you need is already on the inside of you. Tap into
Yeah,
it. If you do something, you want something, put it out there in the atmosphere so it can come back to you.
exactly.
We don't do
Exactly.
nothing. We don't show nobody no love. We ain't got no gratitude for nothing. We walk around with an attitude. We act like somebody owes us something. We ain't got nothing on the inside of us. You ask somebody, do they know a scripture? Do they know how to pray? They don't even know how to pray. That's why, man, people need to know how to pray.
Exactly.
These are simple words. Ain't no big
Hmm.
fancy nothing because what all the big fancy word that people be doing ain't doing nothing but speaking damnation over people.
Exactly. You
Let
ain't
people
got to
be
do
who
all of
they
that.
are. Man, I talk to him like me and you having a conversation.
And
Because
that's
I could be
exactly
sitting
how
right
I
here in
talk
this
to
room and I open that Bible and I'll be like, for real God.
her. That
And then
is
he'll
me
take me
right
over there to
there.
another scripture and I'll be like, for real God. And I'll be like, nah. And then I talk to the devil the same way. I'll be like, the enemy. The enemy, whatever you, I say, whoever you is, I say, because you ain't got no rule over that. So I don't know why you want to play. Trying to
Exactly.
get on
I
the
ain't got
internet.
time.
Ain't got no time for it. Trying to get on the
Mhm.
internet. Want to get in the internet, play with the internet. I say, okay, you forget I got this. I show them this. I say, you forget I got this. As soon as I show the phone, why the internet want to line up?
Exactly. When you show you not afraid, everything will
Just
step
want to act
in
right
all
and
in
want to
place.
line up and want to do right and want to.
Let me tell you about the monologue part for me. Like, okay, I had just a very very small part originally.
Mm-hmm,
And mine was just to be one of the bullies, I call it, in wisdom's part, where and whatever.
mm-hmm,
And I prayed about that. And I was like, Lord, I'm not even in that space anymore. That's going to take something from me. I'm not in a negative space to where I have to speak to someone in that capacity. I don't know what to do. And I'm going to have to dig deep to go back to that place. And I don't necessarily want to do that. And then Sheena messaged me because we had someone leave the cast and asked if I would be willing to do motivation. And at first I was like, okay, I can do it. That's fine. It's no problem because there wasn't any speaking parts at all. So I'm like, I can act, I can do this. But again, as I said, I'm very, very shy. So it was like, oh, okay. I definitely have to stand out. I have to do something a little different. Okay, God, listen here. You heard my prayer because I had to go into a space where I was unfamiliar. So now I'm going into a place where I'm very familiar. I can motivate you to do anything because I motivate me to do the things that is necessary for me because I refuse to not be motivated enough to do what is necessary. So, however, when that happened, I'm like, okay. So we did one of the rehearsals one night and it wasn't quite long enough. So I was like, okay, um, God, listen, I don't know what I need to do. So I was sitting there at work and I'm like, I got it. Me and God just gonna have a conversation. And that's how we gonna do this. We gonna work this thing out. And that's what I did. And so I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna work out the way that it needs to. It's longer, it's
mm-hmm.
necessary, but he heard my prayer that I'm not in that negative space,
Right.
but I'll be there in that moment to do what is necessary for that. But the bigger part of me is in the motivation part of life. So me playing this part actually was by God's design. And I can't say anything other than that. Is that was his purpose. But I was telling my sister and I was telling a friend of mine not too long ago that we often pray to God all the time and ask him to help us or bless us in a certain situation. And then we go over there asking God, hey, listen, God, how long is it going to take you to answer this prayer? How long is it going to take you to do such and such? And I said, listen, you minding God's business and that ain't your place. Mind your business. God is God all by himself. He don't need you questioning when he's going to bless you, because he probably blessed you the moment you prayed your prayer. But since you over there minding his business instead of minding your own, then guess what? You got to wait a little longer. Mind your business and stop bothering God, because God don't need your help. He didn't ask you for nothing. You asked him for something. So go on, sit in the corner and do what you need to do and stop minding God's business, because he don't need you. You need him.
Wow. Did you hear that?
Mind your business.
Say one more time for that person in the back, because we've been had a lot of people on the back row that ain't been listening. I need them to move to the front. Can you come to the front? Because then you say it one more time.
Mind your business and stop minding God's. God don't need your help. He don't need your assistance. You prayed and asked him for something. So mind your business and let him work like he need to. Don't be going over there asking him when he gonna answer your prayer. He already did. You just didn't know. Mind your business.
Don't be minding his business. Mind your business. Don't be asking no questions. Asking questions and stuff.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
In your lane. That's what's wrong with people.
Over there minding God's business.
Just need to stay in their lane.
Always.
Stay in their lane. I'm telling you, that wasn't wrong. I'm telling you, we can be riding down the road. We can just see a wreck. We see a wreck, and then we got to be out, and then you get down there, and you be wondering why traffic backed up for 2 hours. You know, because everybody got to go look. So we ain't minding our business. We got to mind their business. That's what's wrong with people. What's wrong with them?
Exactly. That's like this morning. Yesterday when I got home, people were talking about the internet, Facebook, or whatever was down yesterday. I had no clue. I didn't know nothing about it at all until I got home from work, and a friend of mine was like, well, Facebook been down all day. I said, well, you know what? I never noticed because it wasn't my business. God didn't bring it to my attention, so it wasn't for me to worry about.
Well, you know what? Everybody brought it to my attention, so I didn't have no choice but to worry about it. So let me tell you what happened to me, because I was sitting here, I wasn't even worried about it really, because, I was sitting here doing something on the computer and minding my business. Like I said, I was in my lane.
They brought you into that lane.
Brought me all into it, and then I'm telling you, but let me tell you how God will turn that thing around.
All right.
Because let me tell you something. I found out about Clubhouse, and I didn't have no Clubhouse because I got an Android. I ain't got no Apple product.
Yeah, I got an Android too.
Got an Android, but I'm in Clubhouse. Don't start me a club room. Tomorrow, God gonna bless, because I got a young lady that's coming on to share her journey.
Okay.
She's coming on to share her domestic violence journey. I'm talking about how she was. I don't even know what her story is, so I'm not gonna tell her. But everybody gonna want to tune in because it made national news.
Oh wow! Yeah,
it made national news, and I shared it across my page that people want to go check it out. But I'm telling you, it's gonna bless some people. It's gonna help some people come up out of some stuff. It's gonna help people heal, and that's what it's all about. I'm telling you, I've come to bring healing.
Exactly.
It's time out for all that foolishness. You say, I need you to say that one more time for that person that did not hear you, and let me put you by yourself, because they need to hear you.
Listen, y'all got to understand this. Don't be minding God's business. When you pray and ask him for something, let him do what it is that he needs to do to bless you in that moment, in that situation, in that term, whatever it may be. When you pray it to him, leave it with him. Don't be going over there minding his business, okay? He don't need you. He didn't ask you for nothing. You asked him. So if you asked him, leave it and let it be. But pay attention to the signs that he's giving you when he's answering your prayer. You don't even understand how you prayed and asked him for just what you asked him for. So you ain't being mindful and you ain't staying in your lane. Give God whatever it is he needs to do to bless you, but don't mind his business. Don't mind his business. You can't do what he does. He's God all by himself. He don't need no assistance from you. Okay?
Wow. I'm
Mind your
telling
business.
you, they gotta tune in. They gotta tune in, and I want you to tell them how they can follow how they can follow the monologue. The mask behind the mask virtual monologue is airing.
October the 30th at 5 p.m. It is a private Zoom. Man, what y'all waiting on? Why y'all ain't got y'all tickets yet? I don't even understand what you doing. What you doing?
Mm.
You ain't got your ticket yet.
I'm
You
talking
better go
to that
on and
person
get
in
your
the back.
ticket.
They need to
Huh?
get two. They need to get
They
two
need
because
to
they
get
need to
through.
bring somebody. Because I'm telling you,
Exactly.
they're gonna need to wipe each other
Need to
tears, and
clean
then they're
that
gonna have
and
to pat
everything
and
too.
hug and laugh. They're gonna need somebody to have all these emotions with because your
Yes,
emotions gonna be up
because
and down. But I
there's
tell you,
so much.
so much, so much, so much, so much. Such a blessing, such a blessing. Before we leave, I want you to share how can people follow you, how they can support you, how they can purchase your books. Um, and if you
All
have
right.
anything else going on, please share that.
Um, Only other thing I have going on, I'm a Mary Kay beauty consultant, so I do that as well. You can find me on Facebook, Triveda Harris at Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Triveda Harris 78. Um, what else? I am an ambassador for it is Adam Black Model Photography. So I am an ambassador for him. Also an ambassador for Crown Adjusted Apparel. So I do modeling as well. I'm trying to get a portfolio together to do that. As I said, y'all, I'm very, very shy, but you would not know that with having a conversation with me. But I'm a very, very, very shy person, and I'm slowly coming out of my bubbles only because I prayed and asked God to help me get out of this comfort zone that I was so comfortable with. So I had to be uncomfortable in order to be comfortable.
Right.
So I'm working on that. And I'm grateful for all of these different opportunities. God has connected me to so many wonderful people. And I thank you so much for this opportunity to be here and to speak with you and to speak with your audience right now. Because when I prayed that prayer in 2019, it was basically God, help me to see the vision that you see for me. Help me to get rid of the people who are not connected to the destiny in which you have for me and bring those ones who are connected to where you're trying to take me. And I had to let go of some people that really meant the world to me in order to get to where I'm at. Do I regret letting those people go? I don't. And the reason I don't is because they were not connected to this moment. They could not be a part of this moment. But I wish them all the best, and I'm grateful for what they have given to me to be in this moment. So no hard feelings, no love lost. I'm willing to support and be there for any and everybody in any capacity in which God says, hey, listen, I need you to do this. And this is another thing. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to be quiet. And that is, we always talk about being obedient. And sometimes people want you to be obedient to them, but they'll quickly say, well, listen to what God tells you to do. But when you don't listen to what they say do, they feel like you're not listening.
Mhm.
No, I went and talked to God like you told me to. And he told me to follow these steps, and I'll still get to where you want me to go. However, I have to go a different route. You may be on the same path and the same destination for somebody else, but when you arrive at that destination, you arrive at that destination on the time that he has designated just for you,
Right.
not for anybody else. So you have to be obedient to what God is telling you, and you can't be obedient to man and God at the same time. It's not going to work. So people need to understand being obedient to God and them ain't going to work. So I don't care nothing about nobody saying, well, I told you to do this. Yeah, you told me to, but God didn't say follow. So guess who I'm going to follow? God.
Amen. 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 So, how can they get your books?
Books are on Amazon. I can. They're all on Amazon. So if you go on Amazon, you type in my name, Triveda Harris. You should be able to find all three of them. And if not, send me a message and let me know, and I'll send you the links.
And that is Facebook and Instagram, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I want to definitely thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on tonight. I want to wish you the best
Thank
and all
you.
that you do, because you are definitely amazing. I want you to keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing.
Thank
Do
you.
not let this.
I will.
Uh, yes, please, please. We need more. We need more people like you. Because I definitely can relate to the things that you're sharing. So I love you, my
I
queen
love you.
sister, and I pray that you are blessed. Is there anything that you want to leave with them before we close out?
The only thing I want to leave with everybody is to simply know that you are enough. You are great. You are amazing. Never let anybody plant any seeds of doubt in what God has already placed the greatness for you. So if somebody's trying to plant periods and say you are not enough, tell them that God already told you that you were. And you will always be amazing and you will always be enough for Him no matter what. So I love you. And that's it.
Amen, amen, amen. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. I tell you, I have truly been inspired by tonight. I hope you have been inspired. If you would, please follow Triveda Harris on Facebook and Instagram. Go over and support her books. Y'all, we are starving artists around here, and we could use your support. And then when you go over and purchase the book, please take the time to leave a review, because that's how people really get the buzz about what we're doing. It's from your words and the things that you think about what you're reading. So please, if you would, share this with your circle of influence. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Be blessed.